Alright, so we're in. The fluffy mic is in the bloody way. And I'm on the rooftop. And I'm getting some vitamin D. Everyone asks me, where do I get my vitamin D? Well, rooftop. EMF is just over there. You probably see it. I should have bought my sunglasses. And I'm just standing out here on the rooftop like a bloody pervert. Gotta get your vitamin D in 10 to 15 minutes a day. Alright, well, all jokes aside, excuse me, mate, trying to do a YouTube video here, honestly. Absolutely rude, helicopters and everything, how's that? Ruin my exterior noise. Anyway, now that fella's gone, we can get into it. So, today this video is my #1 hack for single digit body fat, under 10% body fat. What is it? Spoiler alert, there is none, right? Because it's many things, it's multiple things. However, if I had to pick one thing that was the most important, okay, for single digit body fat, and no, I am not single digit body fat. This is me anywhere between, as it had a guess, 10 to 12% body fat. But hey, it doesn't fucking matter because it's a number. And the numbers over time are what counts congruent to your goal. It's not just about being this number or that number or getting to that number, because again, it's about a metric. It's just used as a tracking tool. But anyway, if I had one main attribute that contributed to single digit body fat, it would be consistency. And I'll tell you why. Because it's about consistency with all of the variables, okay? Being in a calorie deficit, being obviously paramount, training and turning up and making sure you're putting enough volume through your body to be able to actually continue to maintain muscle mass and achieve a calorie deficit by your energy expenditure and retain muscle mass, gain strength, all that beautiful stuff. And then also the discipline and the consistency to continually prepare your food, track your food and get the results, and everything else in between. Because when you get hungry, okay, or when you get invited out to social events, depending on your lifestyle factors, it's going to be really, really easy to give in and just go, you know what, fuck it. It doesn't really matter. I don't really want this anyway. I'm just going to kind of give up. So consistency really is the key. But there is a lot of other variables as well that we have to address. I'm just swapping hands here because my arms are getting tired. Anyway, so when you want to get under 10% body fat, first of all, you've got to ask yourself and identify, why do you actually want to get under 10% body fat? Because half the time, you might not need to. It really is, for most people, unnecessary. Getting under 10% body fat should be something that you should do if A, it's a byproduct of your sporting requirements. For example, you might be an endurance runner and an elite athlete. For example, you might be Olympic lifting or powerlifting, and you're in a weight category which requires you to be fairly lean. But even then, you know, if you're on the really lean side for strength, you're not probably going to be maximizing performance, because you need body fat. It is essential for hormonal function, for bodily function, and also performance as well, amongst many other things. So you might look at like swimmers, and usually cardiovascular based athletes, they're very, very lean because of the requirements and the adaptations of their sport. So for most people, and for most of you watching this channel, you just want to look good, right? You want to look good in front of the mirror, you want to look good naked, and you want that aesthetic appeal. You want to be able to take nice, sexy, goddamn Instagram photos, flexing and all that shit. And that's all well and good, but it comes down to more than that, because if that's all you want to do it for, it's a little bit shallow and it's a little bit vain. And yes, we're all a bit vain. We all want to look good naked. I know I certainly do. And I post some pictures. I mean, hey, you clicked on this thumbnail, right? Probably because you've seen the photo and the image. But hopefully I can give you some education as well. So it's not just, oh, it's a pretty picture and some guy talking bullshit. You can actually get some information, some real information out of it. So you've got to ask yourself, why do you want to get to that position? And are you in that position? And do you understand what it takes? And also, what are you going to feel like when you're under 10% body fat? Because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. When you get very, very lean, okay, you will not feel great, okay? There's this whole notion about being really lean, and half the time, the leanness that you require or that you desire is not actually as lean as you think. It's probably more in the 8 to 10% body fat realms. And if it's leaner than that, you probably are not understanding what's required to get to that lean, or the people you're following or that you see are not actually that lean, or they're not transparent with you about what it takes to get that lean. And what I mean by that is, when you're getting very, very lean, okay, you're generally going to lose your sex drive, okay? If you do it in such a way for a period of time where you are getting, you know, under that 5% body fat range, okay? You're going to lose performance, okay? You're going to be very food focused. You're going to lose a cognitive ability to focus. Your energy levels are going to drop. You're basically going to really lack performance in all areas of your life. And that is not good and congruent for anyone or any lifestyle, especially if you don't have a definitive goal of being a physique athlete, a bodybuilder, etc. There's no real need to ever live there. We weren't designed, but you still want to look great. So maybe it's more about the 8 to 10% body fat that you actually want, and I would recommend, if you do want to get lean, getting there. But if you're going to get to that body fat percentage, make sure you've got some goddamn muscle before you get there. Because one of the mistakes that I've made and many others make is just getting lean, and you don't have no right getting lean because you've got no muscle mass, and you end up looking like a string bean endurance runner, and you're meant to be a body builder or a physique athlete or a fitness model or whatever you want to call it, right? And it's called bodybuilding, like building muscle. Okay, so we actually want to look like we lift, not be like string beans. Kind of defeats the purpose at the end of the day, guys. So for most people, I would recommend focusing on gaining quality muscle mass over time and then improving your body composition. Now, I just did a podcast on this which touched base and addressed a couple of these issues this week earlier. And I talked about, for example, if you're someone who's very overweight, then you probably want to decrease body fat and gain muscle. Now, if you're a beginner, means you're new to training, or even if you're a beginner in terms of training age, and what that means is you have been training for a long time, but you've not really been training efficiently, you've not really developed your physique, you're probably still classed as a beginner, which means you've got a lot of progress that you can make quickly. And it also means that you can body recomp, which means you can lose body fat and increase muscle mass at the same time. Now, despite what people will tell you, that generally is not something that you can do at an advanced stage, because you've got all of your gains, if you like, you've achieved a level of adaptation in your physique, in your muscles, in your nervous system, and you just can't make gains like you were when you were a beginner. If that was the case, man, we'd have some super amazing jack people on this planet, aside from the people who are professional bodybuilders and are using performance enhancing drugs. So if you're someone who's overweight, and you are really overweight, and I'm talking 25% body fat and above, yeah, you know what, trim up. But you might find that you'll do that anyway by improving your lean mass, moving more in the gym, and improving your daily dietary intake. If you're someone who is on the very lean side, like I was when I was young, I would not focus on trying to get too lean, okay? I would not focus on cutting, I would focus on building muscle, learning how to move properly, eating quality foods and still fueling the body with quality nutrients. Okay, so focus on building muscle, understand good nutrition, learn how to fuel your body, learn how to be in a calorie surplus, and fundamentally learn how to acclimate and accumulate volume by lifting correctly, so you can actually activate the muscle groups, cause mechanical tension, cause growth, and then continue that process. And that is going to take some time. Now, if you're a beginner, you can make significant progress in the first 12 months of your training. Okay, genetics, yes, play a factor, but all of that aside, looking at things that we can control, if you eat in a calorie surplus, you continually progressive overload, so you're putting more volume, total tonnage through your body weight every week. Over time, you're getting enough rest and recovery in the form of sleep. Don't get me started on sleep. You are going to grow, and that is it. End of story. So, the more muscle mass you can put on your frame, and then condition your body by, again, staying within a range of body fat between 8 to 15% body fat, you're gonna look pretty damn good. And over time, you'll go through phases of cutting. So you might spend 6 to 12 months in a gaining phase. And again, you want to be gaining slow quality muscle, okay? Again, that rate of gain will slow down as you get more advanced. You may start at the 1% of your body weight per month, and then you'll end up in the 0.25% of your body weight per month, because we just can't add muscle mass that fast after the beginning phase. It just doesn't happen unless you want to take the route of performance enhancing drugs, and then you can add it much faster. But even that has its limitations, because there's only so fast that we can assimilate new muscle tissue, no matter how much gear or how much you train in the gym. So focus on building quality muscle, focus on conditioning the body, learning good nutritional habits, move through long periods of gaining phases. Don't try and gain for 3 weeks or 6 weeks and then cut for 2 weeks. You're not gonna get anywhere. If you want to build muscle, you gotta spend long periods of quality time in a gaining phase so you can assimilate new muscle mass, and then you've got to go through periods, shorter periods of time, 6, 8, 12 weeks, 24 weeks if it's a comp rep, of being in a deficit and still maintaining muscle mass, still maintaining strength, and if not progressing. So then when you lean down, you actually look like you lift, because otherwise you're just gonna look like a string bean, and that's not what you want to do. You want to look like you can actually lift some weight, because after all, isn't that why we do this? We want to look muscular, we want to look aesthetic, we want to look jacked, and all of these key words. So my number one tip for single-digit % body fat is consistency, to hang in on the thumbnail. And the reason you probably clicked on this video is because you've seen the thumbnail and you've seen the picture and you were like, oh, that looks good, I'll click on that. But hopefully I've taught you something in this video as well. Again, guys, these videos are just short, they're sharp, they're sweet, they're unscripted, they're very low edited, they're just off the cuff, just me ranting information about key topics that come up on a daily, weekly basis, trying to help you shed some light on the situation. Now, for those of you who want more in-depth understanding, you want something more pragmatic, you want a more professional approach, head over to my academy, click on the links in the description below. That's fearlesstrainingunited.com, where I will teach you, I can be your strength coach, and I can show you how to achieve these things to the best of my ability and that which I've learned off more experienced peers and practitioners over the years. I'm continually learning, I'm always trying to upskill, I'm always trying to lead by example, and also help other people, which you can see on the testimonial and evolution page as well, and pair up with people who are very good at what they do in the industry to try and, again, unleash this knowledge and make it more exposed for people. So you can jump in at the academy there. That's going to be live probably just after this video goes out, so that'll be Monday. If not, drop your name in the email section and you'll be notified when the academy is live for you to go into. And again, it's going to be a growing library every week of quality information, so you can do all of this yourself and take control and master your training, your nutrition, and your lifestyle collectively, as always, because that's what we're about and that's what we do. As always, guys, remember, if you like the video, remember, comment with anything that you want to, any contributions that you've got, and any questions as well. Again, head them down and below and I'll do my best to answer them, or again, if you've got anything specific, make a video on it. And remember, of course, to subscribe for weekly videos and a lot more. And if you want to listen to some more long form quality content that is a little bit more in depth, then make sure you head over to the podcast, Raw Knowledge Podcast 2. Just shameless plugging the shit out of myself here. And one day I'll look back and I'll be like, oh yeah, maybe that was all worth it, to pay it forward and help people out. At the end of the day, guys, I'm just someone who's passionate about health and fitness and actually getting the truth out there and helping people save money and avoid all the bullshit that is around in today's society. So, guys, as always, until next time, stay fearless.